This is Joy News Desk. Let's set the tone for this discussion with a Joy Newsroom video. Now, that was the scene when Prempeh College defeated St. Thomas Aquinas and Adesadel College at the just-ended National Science and Maths Quiz competition, what you're seeing on the screens now.
Question. I'm a soccer player. Oh, finish the whole competition. Yeah. It's why they're winning. Obviously. Prempeh College has won.
What's the premature ejaculation? Tilipa. Obieni abria. We need to premature ejaculation. We win why?
Evans, can you go to this?
Are you sure you can still do top story today?
What do you want to hear fast? Oh, Evans. You should have done the fasting yesterday. Wait, this oh, relax. Let's take it out. If you win, it'll pay me. If we will lose, no. If you ring right now, we will. Yeah, we will. 151. Baba, 51 is great. 51 is great. Because you get 2 riddles. We will have 45. We got 2 riddles. You get 6.
Riddle. Please, what are they waiting for? Who do you want to?
Prempeh College. Where else? Last riddle. No, if we lose this one, they win. That'll be the last one, right? Yeah. But you know where we meet. Jesus Christ. Oh, God. Hey, relax. Oh, yeah, you're winning. What are point at you?
You should have been here yesterday when we were watching, when we were listening to the finals. But after the bragging, the licking of wounds, and the unfortunate incident with the quiz mistress's missing bag, what's next? What are the lessons from this contest which had the nation on its feet? And most importantly, how can our education system benefit further from platforms like this? Apart from social media, the support from all students of competing schools added to the excitement. Therefore, in the studio with me is Henry Nana Boache, the Deputy Executive Director of the National Service Secretariat, representing Prempeh College, Amanfo, Seth Jojome, the Vice President of Adesadel Old Students Association. And joining us via Skype is Joy News' Evans Mensah. As you saw in the video there, he is an old student of St. Thomas Aquinas. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Daniel.
Congratulations for making it to the final.
Thank you so much.
Dan, I think I spoke to you before the contest. I think I saw you before, and I promised that we were going to do the trophy.
Everyone was brimming with confidence. Of course, I was wishing Prempeh well.
Obviously because of the link, yes, I know.
Well, but let me...
Father and son affair.
You see, we'll explain to the public later.
Very well, but I think that you are getting out of control with such matters. Obviously, a college is a college.
Okay.
There's nothing about it.
But you have to respect a school that can give birth to a college.
Forgive yourself.
That's a way for another
Okay, very well said.
Now, how was it for you yesterday? You were in the hall, in the National Theatre, witnessing it. How was it for you?
First of all, it was I was feeling very edgy. In fact, I was very nervous. And at a point, I even said to myself, if at my age and where I've gotten to, I'm very nervous, and how much more the kids themselves, the contestants themselves. And at the point, I even said, you know what, they have been really trained well, because psychologically, they were very strong. It was a moment of joy for me. We had won this thing 3 times, and going into it, we thought, yes, indeed, we have to win it for the 4th time. I think it's only Presec has 5. Yes. Then we have 4, and next year, obviously, we're going to make it 5. So it was good, at least. And you see, it was a heated contest because of the contestants. Number one, Adisadel came in as the defending champions. Fantastic college, fantastic school. St. Aquinas also came in as winners before in 2013. So great fit there. And then we have won it for we have won it 3 times. 2015, yes. So it was as if clash of the titans. They have all won it before. They all have their own bragging right. Each of the schools, were beaming with that, clout. So for me, it was very.
The competition was heightened,
and it was. In fact, at the point when I got there, the euphoria, the atmosphere, even before you enter National Theatre, was excellent. For me, it was good. And this year, I know National Science and Minds Quiz has always attracted the needed attention, and from all schools, because of this phenomena of old school. But then I think this year was
wow. This year was obviously
this year was
much bigger. Yeah. So let me bring in Seth here. I don't know where you watched it from.
Frankly speaking, I had some business engagements, so I had to, in between all of that, try to follow it on social media, and then radio. So I was listening to it. Frankly speaking, it was quite a tough situation for us, but we were enthused about it. And our enthusiasm was out of the fact that, let me first of all congratulate Prempeh College for what they've done. We also would like to congratulate St. Thomas Aquinas, because we know what winning is like, and we have experienced this in several times. Now, if you look at the history of it for us, in the last 6 years, we have been minimum semi-finalists. That tells you what caliber of a college you are dealing with.
And
then in the last 3 years, including this year, we have been finalists. Last year we won it. So if you look at it very much, the standard was at Adisadel College to beat. So no wonder, and we are very grateful that Daniel, your school, at least did not see the passage of time. And infant swim, for that matter, I know you're an infant swim guy.
Yes.
That is the excitement for us.
We take vicarious pleasure.
Don't talk about it. We the finalists are talking.
Interestingly, as he's saying that, I'm also excited that Owas also got booted somewhere along.
Lovely. And that's the game. What is very, very exciting about the whole scenario is that you look at it and we think that, yes, Prempeh won. You look at it, they had guys who had the whole scaling situation. We admit, at a point, we had some psycho problems. And so we sent in specialists from our system after the semi-finals to try and psych the boys up. The pressure was on the boys. These boys were gallant. Now, our national executive has issued out a statement. Our president, for that matter, has issued out a statement congratulating Prempeh College, congratulating St. Thomas Aquinas, but we cannot take it from our boys. Our boys have been splendid.
I'll come to what the old students are doing generally, but let me bring in Evans, who is joining us via Skype. Evans, I was here with you during the final moments, what was going on through your mind when you were hearing the riddles come in like that?
The riddles, I find out was to do better because of the previous experience with the riddles. I think the riddles had to be our strongest point. And at the time we got to the riddles, which happens to be the last round, I think the gap was 45 and 53 per. But I was not in doubt that we were going to close that gap or win it, and I was proved right.
But in those moments where we were hearing the results, where we see this one has it right, this one has it wrong, you're doing the calculations in your head. I mean, how was it like for you?
Well, it was tense, especially with, I guess that last round, the way it's been structured, where ringing of the bell, whoever rings the bell first gets to answer a question. It was just so structured to bring that excitement, and I guess St. Thomas Aquinas left it very late, but it made it very tense because they did very well. The first two questions, they rang the bell first, I think, before the third clue. On the third question, they got it wrong. The fourth question, they tried again. So yeah, it was pretty tense.
I can imagine. I was right here by you, so I got the front row seat of what was going on. Now, in the run-up to the competition, and when it began, we found a lot of old students pitching in to support the teams, taking them out to eat, etc. Why do you think it's so important that old students had to get together to do things like this? Evans.
Because it's also motivation. A lot of the old students have actually started in life. These young ones can follow that experience.
Well, we are finding it difficult to get Evans on Skype. Let me bring this to you, Seth, because you are the Vice President of the Old Students Association. Why was it so important that as old students you come together to support these guys?
By and large, if you look at Adistado College, and generally I think all institutions for that matter, second cycle, we all seem to want to belong. And for us in the college, we have a very clear standing with what we do for the college. We stand by self-help. We believe in giving back to the alma mater. And so you would find us, as a matter of course, looking backward to try and bring up the boys. Because we are a 1910 school. And we've got the experience, we understand what it is. Now, the reason the old boys would go in, one is definitely to shore up great minds into the future. I mean, we know that we are a 21st century school. We are 21st century school for that matter. We know that our boys are going to be leaders into the future of Ghana and the world. We've got to add some value to what they are doing. As old boys, we go back into the school to try and add something. You know our motto is the whole song we sing tells you that when you give back, you get something out of it. And it is a hallmark. So the boys also are growing up. They ought to understand that others have labored and they are sharing in that glory. It is their responsibility. If they see what we do with them, getting interested in things that relate to studentship, whilst we are growing old, they begin to kind of restructure their mindset. As they get into the stage of adulthood or working life, and they begin to look back and say, look, let's grow up the system as it was grown up for us. And for us, we think it's a matter of course.
Right, so Nanabi, why the science and maths quiz in particular? I know a lot of the people who have been following were not even science students, but it seems this quiz has got so much attention. Why?
Yes, for me, I think it's because of the history behind. It used to be Brilliant Maths and Science Quiz. It was being sponsored by Brilliant Soap then. And in fact, for me, I even mentioned it to one of your presenters yesterday that I went to Prempeh College because of Brilliant Maths and Science Quiz. I was then in Ashimota primary, back coming, and then, you know, when we go to the times where, you know, you have to fill the form, choose the school you want to go to, yes, I was in a bit of a dilemma. So around that same period, that was when they started the maiden edition. Now, the format was different. It was Northern Zone, Southern Zone. So Northern Zone, Pempe College won. Southern Zone, Achimota won. So then I was in Achimota Primary. And then we had some people selected to go and watch the grand finale. And then what happened was, when we went there, Pempe College won. And for me, it was a massive whipping of the Motown guys.
Do you remember the scoreline?
Oh yeah, I forgot it. Yeah, but that was the main reason why I chose Pempe College, and I went back to Ashanti region where I hail from. So it's because of that tradition, and ever since from that period, there's been that euphoria. Although because of now social media, and because of we have so many media space now. So because of all this, it has really contributed a lot, especially in how
getting
it has
people involved.
Exactly. But then even then, it still used to be, because obviously you meet friends. I mean, vacation, you have so many family friends here, and you meet, and then you have the bragging right. So the history is also very key, and also add a certain level of prestige, right, to you as a person. And for me, because I was in school and I witnessed it, when I went there, they had won the maiden one already, so we did not witness what really went on. But then they had also won the second one. Okay. And that we were in school then, so I witnessed it.
That was 96.
Yes, so I witnessed it. So you realize that
there's that thing attached to it. So
exactly.
as an old student,
and for me, well, sorry to cut you down, for Addis-Ababa, such a primary school, for all these years, they had not won it before. And it was always in a space. So you could see that the old boys, I spoke to one old boy who said there was a deliberate attempt to sack the guys to win last year, because there has always been that attempt. They had always been going for the finals. So it will obviously, stir up some sort of effort within the old.
So finally, when you became an old student, what moved you to also want to support and spur on these guys, go and sit there, give them your full backing?
Yeah, especially, apart from the fact that you have to be there and support them, even in terms of the facilities of education, we support. Right. From the 99-year group, I remember the guys who won, we give them some materials, laptops, some gadgets to aid, yes. And then because we have several year groups, and because of, the WhatsApp, we're able to come together. Sometimes you don't even have to meet. For us, we've had our platform since 3-4 years ago. We have never met before, but everything we are doing, it goes so well, simply because of the WhatsApp platforms. And every year, I know those we came to meet, those who came after us, they already have their year groups. And I'm very sure Senior Seto, they also have their year groups. So it helps for me. It's very, very, very important. What I'm expecting is that because science is not the only discipline we undertake in our schools, it is important that we look at other programs. Yes,
but it is important. Something I think that we realized is, you've got to admit it, beginning, let's say, even 2010 downwards, you would acknowledge that, and science, maths, is becoming like a core thing that has to drive our economy, that has to drive inventions, that has to drive the growth of Africa. And we have lacked, in my opinion. We've lacked for a while. If you look at Addis-Ababa, for example, we were very strong in classicals, in business, in all that kind of field. But whilst we are still strong in the sciences, we think it is the area you need to also support. We gave support, and I like what Nanabia said. We gave laptops from last year's winning. We even gave awards to the boys who won, in a bid to encourage the boys in school to see and realize that it is an important thing to do for yourself, and that as you do it, it grows you. Now, can you imagine? We had about 6-7 boys stand by, because anything could happen. 6 strong, boys were there. Now, if this thing is enlarging, you can understand again that you would have science virtually integrated. This is the direction for Africa. So,
were you in school when the science and math quiz was being?
Frankly, to tell you, I'm a common entrance boy. I completed. I completed in 1977.
I don't even need a guess to say that.
I completed 1977.
I was hoping that, but you look like a very young man.
Yes, I am. And it's because of my roots, the root of my identity. At the Saddle College, we groom ourselves in a way that you don't finish.
Yes.
Okay. You don't finish. So we are there with that.
Let me ask this one so that you add it to your answer. He was talking about how the team of the NSMQ, they are being encouraged so that others will see them. In your time, did you find that some students were given preferential treatment because they've been chosen to, contest in this competition?
In our time, when the science classes, in fact, they have to sit for an exam. And sometimes you maybe have a very brilliant student who probably, on paper, is even better than these two contestants. But because probably these guys are sharp, they are quiz friendly. They have been trained to do so. Some are very sharp, but probably they are not orally strong. They are unable to express themselves very well.
Sometimes the tension gets to them.
Right. So because you sit for an exam, I was a science student, I sat. I didn't go through. But the sharp guys will go through. And then you have about 10 people selected, and then they'll continue to train them. So what they said is very true. Sometimes you have even about a team of 7. So anything at all can happen, and they will be there. One thing I also found intriguing yesterday was that, you see, I think we need to commend the teachers as well.
Yes.
Because for us, and especially you saw from Evans and then my own brother Koku upon Pipra, you realize that even those sitting back, and for us, we are not even part, but the tension, the psychological trauma we went through just for that brief moment. Trust me, at a point I could not sit on my seat. I could not.
And frankly, in our case, we want to also even add our headmaster. You look at the way he came. Look, it was just to psych our boys. It was just to.
He was the one dressed.
Yes, I mean, and we are the zebra boys. He drove the system
and even
for
when
us.
they lost, how he encouraged the boys.
Yes.
This is a psychological thing.
Everybody is involved.
Everybody is involved.
The Aquinas guys, I was watching them. At a point, that they had a last riddle. If they had won that particular question, and indeed, yes, they rang the bell first, and then we were hoping. So it was so much tense that when the guy lost, I was even thinking he was probably going to drop down, but he looked on.
You're out of time.
Let us say this: the joy of all of this.
I have 2 favorites. Let me mention their names. I have one person in Aquinas. He was called Animalia. And then, you see, if we had not also gotten a Wonder Boy, I'm telling you that Animalia guy would have taken.
So the joy for me is that the colleges are splendid. The colleges are splendid.
Your argument about colleges.
No, you always want to go, yes.
At the Saddle College, Prempeh College.
Yes, you've got to get it right. Let me just ask these ones. We find old boys supporting with NSMQ. I know it's not just NSMQ. In some schools, entire houses are built by old students. Do you think there's some sort of lack in terms of the duty bearers, our authorities in terms of education?
I think in this school, one book in Japan did something like that, right?
He is planning to do something.
But
I know there are people, St. Jonah, we have a St. Jonah house. And then generally, for us, as at the Saddle College, generally, if you look at our history, even being on the hill, it was us, the boys, and our teachers who started the premises. Later on, government has gotten involved. We think that it's not a matter of flagging down what government is doing or what the stakeholders are doing. The stakeholder profile has been expanded. And it is important that old boys, old students get to understand that giving back to society or giving back from where you came is vital, is necessary, is helpful.
Okay.
We have gotten to a stage where all of us must get involved.
So it's about building a sense of responsibility.
Exactly.
Right. Let me come to Nana with this one. Do you think that there's a failing on part of authority?
I don't think so, but I think moving forward, there should be a strategic partner. There should be that nexus between government and old boys. It is very key because, you see, there are some schools, immediately you get hold of the old boys as a government, trust me, you have so much ease to do certain things. So I think moving forward, and I know, especially once the Minister of Education is also an ardent, old boy of Prempeh College, and he believes in that. Not only Prempeh, he believes in that. So for me, I think there should be that strategic.
They should be brought to the table.
They should be brought to the table.
Officially.
Yes, there should be, yes.
So they are recognized.
Exactly. We are doing it. We have a stakeholders meeting. and it's driven hardly, very strongly from the old boy point of view. Stakeholders meeting, we have the board of governors, we have the staff and students, we have
parents, the
PTA is actively there.
So let me just ask my final one, and I'll just take one comment each. What are the, before I go to my final question, we don't see girls' schools winning NSMQ. We know Wesley Girls and Holy Child got to the final, but no girls' school has won before. What do you think is going wrong there? In just a minute, please.
Well,
they're always the Holy Child, St. Louis, I mean, they've been doing quite well. So for me, I think that is what Senior Seto said. Maybe it is because of, quiz and how guys is a bit aggressive, and it's quite sharp. So you could see that they can be good. That's what I said. They may be good on paper, as in when you are writing, they may be good. But then when it comes to that, I mean, the sharpness of it, and even the psychological aspect of it. Because men naturally are emotionally strong. Okay. The Bible says ladies are weaker vessels.
So an easy way of trying to explain
another debatable point. I just want to take the Bible one in a sentence each. The most important lesson you think we can pick from NSMQ in a sentence each, Nana?
Yes, but then the ladies, then I beg you. I think they should be psyched more. I think we should be looking for a time when a lady or a girls' school should win this. Finally, I would want to congratulate the organizers. They've done so well. It was well organized and all stakeholders, and I believe that next year is going to be more challenging, more competitive, and more knowledge-driven than this. The unfortunate aspect is the loss of the
bag. We are getting some information that's been found.
I'm told he's on a Cape Coast road. But we are hoping to.
Obviously, let us clarify. Give me time to clarify this. When Adisado went for the third prize, we were so dejected because we knew we should have been the winners. We withdrew. St. Aquinas came for their presents. They seem to be moving off. Prempe rushed onto the stage. Please let them use the cameras to detect what it is. The quiz mistress only got up at the point Prempe was being given the present. For heaven's sake. I think they are using the Cape Coast routes as a diversion. They will go through Mankasim, Abuasi, into Kumasi. Check them out. Check them out.
Let me clarify this. The quiz mistress's bag was black. It was not pink. The quiz mistress's bag was black. You have seen a picture of an disco boy with a pink bag.
Pink bag.
The bag is black.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.